what specifically do you want Tony to do with his money? What do you think Tony should do with his money?
Fuck off.
What do you mean fuck off? Do nothing? Let those kids die? I've got you here now.
Alright.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, mosquito.
I got you here now.
Alright.
Why is Iron Man? I need to know this. Why is Iron Man 1 military propaganda?
Oh no. Oh no.
Do we really want to do this?
Yeah, we do, because it's
Yeah,
it's a dumb
Yes.
It's because
What is military
because
propaganda?
right,
Okay, we're doing
to
this. All
We're
of
gonna
this
have
gotta
to.
be
Okay,
meeting.
wait. Hold on. We're gonna have to severely moderate this if it happens. Like most
Yes.
people are gonna.
All right.
You can't have everyone.
Yes.
Alright, you know what? I'm gonna let
Everyone mute unless you're important to this.
Wait, I'm
I
confused.
feel like Jenny
Iron
is
Man-
a lot smarter than I am when it comes to this. Maybe Jenny can talk.
Yeah, just
a
say you
lot
don't want to talk,
better
bro. It's
than
fine.
God damn it, Mosquito! You always drag me. In
I
the
know,
face
because
with
you're
that.
the better left.
no. I want it to be Mosquito. I don't want Mosquito. I'm not asking for any help here. I want it. No, just
Mosquito, I love you. You got this.
Alright.
why is Iron Man 1 and 2 a military
Everyone-
propaganda? And also,
Everyone mute.
secondly, you're really wrong. So here we go.
Alright, here we go.
This is a
So,
great
as I play this amazing game known as Roblox Paintball, I shall explain how Iron Man 1 and 2 are military propaganda. So,
And how is the third one not?
alright. Number 1. Let's get the obvious out of the way. Both of these films were funded and produced by the Department of Justice, which
No.
is there. We have multiple articles correlating.
No,
this. This
alright,
is
that
a
doesn't matter.
well-known
That doesn't
industry practice.
doesn't matter.
actually
Doesn't matter.
stopped
Say his
Doesn't
piece
matter.
before you interrupt him.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
It's that is a part of it. But okay, you want to go further? Let's go further. All right. So, I've heard a lot of people say Iron Man 1 is critical of the US military, which if you look at it from one angle, you can say, okay, yeah, Tony realizes, oh yeah, selling weapons is bad, not very good. So what is Tony's solution to not selling weapons, right? His solution for not selling weapons is to create the ultimate weapon, the Iron Man suit.
Stop.
I'm not done. Let me finish. I'll let you go after that. All right. And he essentially becomes the decider of right and wrong, and he, an American citizen, an American billionaire for that matter, flies all the way to the Middle East and puts matters in his own hands, which, if you know something called foreign intervention, that's not very good. It's not good to go into other countries and kill people.
Yes, but you forget the fact.
I'm not done.
Okay.
I'm not
whatever.
done. We said you were gonna let me speak. Okay. Now, you might say Iron Man's a work of fiction and superheroes do all of this all the time. So what's the big concern? Why are you singling out Iron Man?
No.
Which, in all honesty, I'm not. It's just one of many Marvel movies, and just not even just Marvel movies that do this. It's just a very common thing. But the fact is that the War on Terror, especially in 2008 when Iron Man came out, was an extremely big issue. Not saying it stopped, it hasn't. America still goes and does fucky shit in the Middle East. That's what they've always done.
Doesn't make a movie a commentary on it, though.
I'm not done. When you have someone like Iron Man, an American citizen, a rich billionaire for that matter, essentially acting as the military in that region, choosing who gets to live and die, that sets a very bad precedent for the people watching the movie who are mainly Americans. It tells Americans subliminally that it is okay to go into other countries, specifically Middle Eastern countries, and do this stuff to the barbaric and savage Middle Easterners who apparently deserve it according to what this film is trying to say. And as for Iron Man 2, Iron Man 2 I don't even have as much of a problem with because it's so over the top, ridiculous, and stupid, it's kind of fun. Like, I can't even deny it. As much as it is probably worse on an ideological front than the first one, it's kind of like the Michael Bay Transformers movies where I just can't take it seriously.
I'm gonna go grab my food.
Alright.
Hold on to your point. Peter, you can go, but as soon as I come back, I'm gonna dismantle this entirely. I'll be back.
Alright. As long as
you can say
Can we have proper debate etiquette and not cut other people off while they're making their point?
let's not do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna start server muting people who butt in.
But yeah, like this debate, we've got to keep in mind, I'm not commenting on the quality of Iron Man. You can love or hate this movie.
We're not saying
really
you are.
care.
We're just saying that your point is very
that
valid.
out because I feel like a lot of this debate to some degree comes down to people being very quick to defend something they like, which, you know, I get it. I love stuff, and I love defending stuff I like. But we can like something and also acknowledge that it has problematic elements. This is just something that happens in movies.
It's
Not
not
just movies,
defending.
video
It's looking at
games.
an aspect that's overlooked by the person making the claim. The aspect that you are overlooking is your claim. Like it's
I
really
don't
not
see
military
how-
propaganda. Just because one
But it
character
is.
from a comic who happens to be a part of the military doesn't make the entire movie military propaganda. And you
When
can
the
use
main-
and you
when the
can
main
use the
super-
whole
Mosquito.
excuse.
Stop.
You can use the whole excuse of Iron Man going to that other country just to fight back, when quite literally, the entire thing about that scene was, first, he got kidnapped by those motherfuckers, trying to make him, force him to make weapons of his own shit for mass destruction, and number two, because they were using his weapons to harm other people within that area. How is that military propaganda? Other than that, in the entire movie, there's nothing of that sort in the movie. There's absolutely nothing of military propaganda, none of that bullshit. Just because a scene or a character is involved with that shit, like that's it's not, bro. I'm sorry, but it's not.
Well, first off, your claim that Iron Man is the only character that does this in the movie is wrong, because we literally have the most arguably likable character, and to some degree, Iron
Yeah,
Man's
one
more-
character, Rhodey, and that's it.
Not done. I'm not done.
Well, it's a bad point, so.
It isn't. When you portray military service people that well, that also sets a bad precedent for its audience, endorsing essentially the greatest terrorist fighting, like the greatest terror force in the world, which is the United States military. And
Oh my god.
what do you mean? Oh my god! Let me speak. You bring up the point that they kidnapped Iron Man and they did all this. Do you not see how that is also a part of this whole military propaganda thing, where we have to say that Middle Easterners are barbaric human beings who have to kidnap billionaires?
You realize that's
and
even that is not
them.
just an origin in the movie. That is quite literally just Tony's origin in the comics. That doesn't
Well,
make
then
that doesn't make his
that is-
origin military propaganda or a play on military.
when it's used in this context, in the sense
what
that we are
context?
trying to
It's
put
one
the
for
narrative-
one the same origin. There's no context to it.
when we are using in the context of Bush era, Obama era America,
Oh,
going
boy.
into Middle
Here we
Eastern
go.
countries as a very dangerous precedent.
Oh god. Alright.
And
Alright.
don't cut me off, like, seriously. Let's not do that.
Alright. Here we go. I'm gonna break this down.
Alright.
Right, first of all, do you pay your taxes? I'm just gonna straight up, do you pay your taxes?
I'm not even American.
Okay. Anybody here? Okay. Even if you were, you would pay your taxes, right?
Unfortunately, that's the world we live in.
Okay, so true. For America funding, right? You know where most of America's funding of taxes go to? Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, the military.
Unfortunately in the military. Right. So any amount of money, doesn't matter where, no matter how much, on base principle of paying your taxes, it's going to the exact same place, correct?
Well, yeah, that's the
So, okay.
stark reality of living in a capitalist
Okay.
world.
Okay, so yeah, but that's what I'm trying to tell you. There's no meaningful difference. There's no meaningful difference. You are still paying for it. They're going to get their money out no matter what. So if your message in the movie is anti-weaponry, and also Tony Stark creates a defense mechanism that only he can use because he doesn't trust anybody else, Americans included, especially Americans, because the main villain of the film is an evil businessman who is selling weapons to people, not even selling them, and then betraying those people. He is the main villain. He's the worst part of the film.
And you also
He's
have to-
actively...
And you
No,
also-
PJ.
Alright,
PJ.
alright.
Let's sir
PJ.
finish.
PJ, no. Okay. So in any case, so if you want to say by principle of them getting the funding for it, you cannot make the film without it, just legally. It's the exact same. You cannot use it legally. Do you know, for example, when have you gone out and made a short film? Because I know that you're a director, right? Like you want to be a director. Have you gone out and made any short films yourself?
Yeah, I wouldn't shoot a film involving the U.S. military.
Okay. But have you shot anything, right?
Yes, I have.
Have you had to gone out and ask for permission to film and shoot at locations, correct?
That is what you tend to do when you film.
Yes, exactly. The only way to get that equipment to tell the story is to do it, and unfortunately, that is the only way to do it. correct?
Yes, but
So-
that doesn't
so-
negate the fact that it's
No. So you're saying that, so are you telling me that certain stories shouldn't be told like that?
I think if the story leads to mass like Islamophobia, yeah, which it did. I can speak from personal experience. That is what Iron Man and a lot of films like that have normalized. And-
Can I interrupt you for a little bit? My
I
family.
mean,
is-
I think Stir was. Did Stir have anything else they wanted to add?
Okay. So next, so personal experience aside, sure. I'm gonna break down the next elements and then circle back. So, but even on the basis to make that film and distribute it, they have to do it. And also, you paying your taxes in America literally pays the U.S. military. It's the exact same. If you're going to make a story being critical of the government, you're gonna have to work within the government. That's literally just what's gonna happen. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Jenny's asking if they can tag in.
Oh,
to make a-
I just wanted to speak on.
I'm okay
another
with
point.
Jenny speaking of it. Yeah, that's fine.
You said that sometimes funding from the military is necessary for some of these stories to exist as they're supposed to be. Yes, that is true. That doesn't negate the fact that they can still be military propaganda. I don't understand what that argument has to do with the core debate topic, which is Iron Man is or isn't military propaganda. All you're saying is that, yeah, sometimes the military funding is required for these films to get made. That's not a point.
It's because he made the point of the military funding the movie. That's
yeah,
why he
yeah.
brought up that point.
I don't think that point.
the basis of propaganda is to promote a message specifically to either recruit
Exactly.
somebody to do a certain thing. The point in the
Right.
movie is that it literally makes out the military to be an antagonistic force, as well as buying weapons that lead to American lives dying, as well as people in the Middle East dying. Because also, it doesn't villainize the Middle East. He literally goes in to save Middle Eastern people who are being taken over
Oh,
by
it's
this
the
evil
white
group.
savior story.
Right. Was
Are
okay.
you serious?
Is that not what the definition of it is?
Why does it matter? Why does it matter? Why does
Wait, what?
Why does it matter that somebody who has made so many regrets in his life, who's actively trying to do better by people, he is trying to do better.
It's
Him doing that
It's because he's rich.
is trying to make the life. Well, he literally is putting his money into being productive and helping people. And what do you want him to do?
It doesn't. No, it doesn't matter, bro. It's because he's rich.
I think that the precedent of a billionaire making a self-funded military essentially is pretty fucking weird. I don't think I need to explain why that's a inherently.
It's a billionaire putting his money. It's
No, you
literally a
do.
billionaire.
That is literally what Tony does. That's why I do like Iron Man 3, because what does he do? He quits being Iron Man, which Age of Ultron just said, fuck that. He's gonna just go back to doing what he was doing, which is one of the many reasons Age of Ultron sucks. Along with how they just kind of forgot that S.H.I.E.L.D. was literally run by Nazis, and then they just bring back S.H.I.E.L.D. again. It's a very dumb movie, but that's besides the point.
Let's
Okay.
not veer off topic here.
But
Okay.
to clarify a little bit fast, with Civil War, they implies that Tony just can't stop quitting Iron Man. He tried in the third movie, but he just can't stop. That's why he just continues doing what he does.
Which, for the record, is one of the good things Civil War does. It shows it as a flaw, which, good thing. But in the first two Iron Man films, they don't really do a good job of showing that why that's not a good thing. And it comes off more as... Because when you say that, okay...
Wait,
you
no.
pay
Hold up.
taxes to the Wait, let me just finish.
Okay, fine.
When you were saying, okay, you pay the taxes to the military and stuff like that, you also do realize they write these films too. It's not just paying taxes; they straight up write the scripts. Like they go in and they make sure that everything abides by their view of themselves. That was a part of the deal they signed with the DOJ. The same thing happened with Captain Marvel because they wanted to use the Air Force, and they
Also-
did a similar deal.
Real quick, you said that you like Iron Man 3 because he quits being Iron Man. SK brings up
Yeah,
a good
it's
point.
great
He
character
literally
development.
says that one thing you can't take away is I am Iron Man. He doesn't quit. That quote literally tells us that he just doesn't quit. Quite
Yeah, but
literally,
the
the
message
only
of the
thing he
film is
quits
that
is the
him
arc
being-
reactor, and that's it. He doesn't quit being Iron Man, so it doesn't matter.
Well,
in the
then
end.
maybe Iron Man 3 sucks more than Iron Man 2.
Dude, Jesus Christ.
Oh
Okay.
my god.
Okay. A billionaire using his funds to be a better person.
Why is that bad?
to be a better person. That's literally that is what you would want.
That
That's
is
literally the main goal of wanting what a rich person to do out of their just killing themselves.
That is literally
But yeah,
Iron.
but
That
it
is the
is-
whole thing about Iron Man's character, not just in the movies, but quite literally in the comics. Same with the
How
Toy
do
also-
Story story. It's one
how
for
do I-
one the origin. Like, come on.
How do I explain that the idea of this rich billionaire going and intervening in foreign
What do you want him to do? What do you want him to do?
Literally,
what do you want him to do?
Or at least if he's gonna do it, show the consequences of it instead of
They
What-
do. People
When he
die.
does it,
The
it is
military.
framed-
Okay, what? Literally, the people that tried protecting him died by the hands of his own fucking weapons
And
from
what
these
does he proceed
terrorists.
to do? What does he proceed to do? Use
Not
another
just
weapon to fight terrorists.
Stop. The only reason that they have access to those weapons is literally that he was selling them to them. Him selling it doesn't. They don't have access to the Iron Man suit. They don't have access to anything.
And that
You
makes
live-
it better. It makes it justifiable to go into foreign countries and then
That are
you
using,
want those children-
that
do-
are
do-
using
no, no, no,
his
no, no.
weapons
No,
to
stop.
harm children. Yes, it is.
Do
Like,
you
what?
do you want him? Do you want those children to die?
Literally.
Do you want those children to
I
die?
think that the idea of portraying Middle Easterners as savages
Do you
who
want-
barbarically
They literally are not. They literally no. He's literally no.
They
He's
literally
not.
are not. Yinsen.
No, stop. The kids he saved are literally Middle Eastern. They're not white kids that he saved. They literally would be Middle Eastern. He's trying to save the Middle Eastern kids
So
from
the
this
Middle
evil.
Easterners need
Okay.
the
No, mosquito.
Mosquito, let him finish.
Mosquito. Do you think ISIS as an organization is morally right? I want to ask this question because they're Middle East and they're only fighting for the rights of their country to get the fucking
Can you
country
tell
back.
me who funded ISIS?
Literally, okay. That's fair to some extent, but also they are literally
The
all
only
also
reason
Middle
ISIS
Eastern.
exists is to destabilize Middle Eastern countries. It was funded by America. That's just
Can
how
I
it
jump
works.
in real quick?
Yeah, Jen, you can
Uh,
do that.
Most radical Islamic organizations, like ISIS, Al Qaeda, most of their roots can be traced back to U.S. imperialism.
That is just the truth. Literally any single Middle Eastern country in the world has been destabilized by Americans because Americans desperately need their oil. That's just how the world works. Which is why I don't think it's a good idea to portray a rich billionaire going into the Middle East and deciding, okay, I'm going to do this and that. Even if you're going to portray him as like
Right, because he doesn't want to save the Middle Eastern children.
The idea of a rich billionaire going into the Middle East.
It's a rich billionaire.
You
but it's- but-
literally
but- okay,
compared it to a
stop,
drone
PJ,
attack, bro. Like, that makes no sense.
PJ,
It is a drone attack, exactly. That's
no,
really gross.
PJ, stop. Okay, mosquito, stop. All right, I'm just gonna break this down to you real quick.
right.
What specifically?
PJ, I'll
Do you-
mute you in a second.
What specifically do you want Tony to do with his money? What do you think Tony should do with his money?
Fuck off.
What do you mean, fuck? Do nothing? Let those kids die?
I think that Tony, if he genuinely cared, would use diplomatic pressure instead of fucking going into
How
the
the
Middle
fuck
East
is he going
himself
to do that?
and
How is he going to do that? They literally can't. They literally acknowledge in the movie that they don't have jurisdiction on the country. They can't. By no legal means can they get in there and do anything.
Well, then I hate to say it, I don't think Tony has the permission to go into the Middle East and decide.
So you want him to follow laws dictated by the US's intervention.
No, I just don't want an American intervening in the Middle East because
What
of
do
the
you-
president that
Why does
happened
it
in
matter
the
that he's
real world.
Why does it matter that he's American? What he wants to fix the fucking?
Because
he wants to
Americans
fix-
in the real world go into the Middle East and rape and butcher
That
children.
literally doesn't
What?
mean anything.
Are you-
I'm sorry, but
that's
it
literally-
doesn't. That means
I'm sorry,
nothing.
nothing.
Can
If,
someone-
literally,
someone else-
okay.
That is a
no,
nitpick
no,
at
no.
best. That is literally a nitpick. I'm sorry, but it is.
That's
It's
not
not even a nitpick. It's literally a dude wanting to make up for the rights of the wrongs that he's
Look,
done to the
Look,
fucking Middle East. What are you talking about?
it's
What are you
easy
talking
for us
about?
to sit around. It is easy for us to sit around and say that this is a work of fiction. The
No, I'm not
problem-
saying. I'm
No
literally
one
not
is
saying
saying
that.
that.
Nobody is.
No one is saying that. You're literally assuming we are saying that. No one is saying that.
The problem with this movie is it is dealing with a real life conflict that affects real life people, and
Marvel
portraying
is also
Americans
proud
as
of
the
real
heroes
life.
here is dangerous. That is what I am saying. That's why I say it is military
And I
propaganda.
don't.
because
Okay.
It justifies American
It doesn't-
intervention in the Middle
No,
East.
it does the
makes
opposite. It does the opposite. It does the opposite. It literally shows that the military is not good enough. They need Iron Man to do it.
Also,
So Iron Man-
military's-
he's the
wait,
agent
no.
of the
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Mosquito, do you want kids to die?
I'm sorry. Real quick. You do realize that not just in Iron Man 1, but just throughout the entire fucking MCU, Iron Man has been actively against the government. The best example is Iron Man 2. Because he refuses to give his suits away to the government.
He fucking hates the government. He thinks it's
I
tough.
privatized world peace. I tried to play ball with these ass clowns.
What do you want him to do? What do you want him to do? What do you want him to
It's not good for a
Mosquito,
billionaire
Mosquito, give me a solution. Give me a
The
solution.
solution would be to not write stories.
That's not a solution.
Like,
His solution was
That's not a
literally
solution.
for him to fuck off. That's what he said.
But that doesn't fix anything. That doesn't fix issues.
They have
But
written
on a
a story.
No, Mosquito. On a moral level as well, that doesn't fix anything. The issues will just be perpetuated if you do nothing.
Real quick.
They have written a story that makes you want to justify Tony's.
No.
The movie actually does the opposite job, where it makes me realize how corrupt the military system is and how fucking corrupt the entirety of Stark Industries was before Tony did anything. It's literally a critique of capitalism. It literally is a critique of capitalism. It literally is a critique of capitalism.
Real quick. No, I'm sorry. Real quick. Just one thing.
Critiquing capitalism when he saves them through as well.
Just one
What?
thing.
He made the Iron Man suits because he's rich.
Oh my god.
he's
No,
using
okay,
his
this is
money-
my point. Let me just say this. Literally, I understand you do not like millionaires or billionaires. I get it, okay? But wouldn't you think a character like Iron Man, who's trying to flip the switch on him being rich and put his money into actual good things, not just on donations or shit like that, but actively
Which he does do.
exactly, but also just making an effort, whether it is building a suit or just fucking doing whatever to help out others in need that are like, come on, dude.
Because if
Be
he
realistic.
doesn't. Also, I'm not asking from a moral outside level because I don't really care about that question. I think it's stupid. I think it's stupid to put on a moral level on that. Because also, during the time that... You have to also look at the time when the piece of media itself was made and the context behind what is being stated and what they did know at the time as well.
Also,
When they were writing it.
SK wants me to.
That's very important to it.
SK wants me to screen share like a scene from the movie to show you.
Also, I forgot to say, in the fight with Iron Man and against the terrorists,
I'll do it later.
he grabs one of the terrorists and tosses it in front of the Middle Eastern victims.
Yes.
and says,
It says you're all yours. No, he literally takes the leader and he gives it to the people to be like, this is yours.
Yeah, because they were attacking the people. Exactly.
No, but what do you see do you see the problem with him helping and then giving them the ability to help themselves? Okay, Mosquito. No, stop.
Okay.
I want to make
Look
a
at my
point.
screen.
Mosquito, do you think it's
Look at my screen.
Do you think PJ? Do you think that it is bad on a Do you think? Okay, great. Do you think that conceptually it is a bad idea for example, a white billionaire or somebody, in this situation, to bring water wells to Africa? Is it a bad idea? Or
It's a very bad precedent.
With that in mind, I
what do you mean? Do you want those people not to be able to drink? Do you? What do you mean?
Listen,
First, let's
sir,
to incorporate
I
our
have a moment here.
proprietary repulsor technology.
The whole idea of the propaganda debate here is propaganda is meant to make someone want to do something, right? I think we can agree that is a general, very stupid, but basic idea of this.
Okay.
Right?
Yes, I don't think the U.S. government wants people to create fucking pipe bombs and then blow up people. I don't think they want them to do that, and I don't think they want them to build weaponized exoskeletons to go against the government either. What are you talking about?
But they would love for American patriots to want to go and enact justice against those who they deem as enemies of the state.
Okay, both of you, real quick. I'm sorry.
In 2008, were people in Afghanistan or Iraq or Syria.
Both of you.
These people are enemies of the state, and because of that, the story is written around the idea that we have to find a way to justify Iron Man going in and killing those Middle Eastern.
Okay, both of you stop. Real quick.
Bad.
Look at SK keeps telling me this, so just do it. Look at my screen. It is proof. Please. Look.
I've seen this scene before.
Okay.
So let's watch it again.
No, watch it again.
Okay, let's play it.
Okay. Stir, are you in?
Did they watch it?
Let's go.
Is it better to be feared or respected? And I say, is it too much to ask for both? With that in mind, I humbly present the crown jewel of Stark Industries' Freedom Line. It's the first missile system to incorporate our proprietary repulsor technology. They say the best weapon is one you never have to fire. I respectfully disagree. I prefer the weapon you only have to fire once. That's how Dad did it. That's how America does it. And it's worked out pretty well so far. Find an excuse to let one of these off the chain, and I personally guarantee you the bad guys won't even want to come out of their caves.
There, we got the quote.
So you proved my point.
How does
No,
that,
you
how does that prove your point?
That's
All right,
How does that
let
prove
me
your point?
elaborate, all right? So, he says that you have the best weapon is the weapon you only have to fire once. He's essentially saying if you kill these people, you fix
Yes.
everything, right?
Yeah, but Mosquito, this is before he goes on his arc and realizes this is not the way to look at things.
So he went on his arc and he still does the same thing.
No, he
He's
doesn't.
doing it.
He really doesn't.
He
No, he
does.
doesn't.
He
No,
literally
he
goes
doesn't.
No, he
there and
doesn't.
becomes
No, he
walking
doesn't. No, he
gun.
doesn't.
You
No, he
proved
doesn't.
my point.
No, he doesn't. He literally doesn't.
He does. He goes into the Middle East and kills them for them. He chooses
No.
who has to live and die.
No.
He does the exact same thing. It's
He's
just
no,
that he's in the
no,
now.
You have this
The-
all wrong, dude.
Okay. So the
That's
problem,
what happens in the movie.
the problem is he
Why
is
you-
selling. No. Stop. Okay. The problem that Tony faces, and the problem that was selling military weaponry to these organizations that were funded by a U.S. person that we learn later. That was funded by you. This entire Iraqi thing, Afghanistan sector was funded by Obadiah Staines. All the weapons were funded by an American man. All of it was.
So you're
All of
telling
it was
me,
funded by. Yes.
so
And
you're
th-
telling
there's a
me
critique.
the only way to fix the
Yes.
problem,
Yes.
or the only way these Middle Eastern people can save their lives is for a rich white billionaire from America
Yes.
to
What?
come
Yes.
swooping down and saving them.
Yes. In this context, yes.
That is my problem.
How
That
is-
why
literally
is that
my
your problem? Why is that
what
your
I have
problem?
been trying to tell you for like 20 minutes now. This story
you
is
really
written
aren't.
around the idea that we have to justify American interventionism.
It's
Iron
a
Man's
dude. It's a
American.
dude. It's a dude
It's
from
a dude in a
America.
metal suit trying to save people from his weapons.
America.
His
He's a
weapons.
guy from
His
America.
weapons. It doesn't matter. It's
Okay,
his
okay,
weapons.
okay.
They're his weapons
Okay.
that they're using to attack others.
Mosquito.
Go on, sir.
Mosquito. I wanna put the basis. All right. Let's. I wanna pivot the argument. Right. Let's it's stupid, but let me change the context. Right. All right. Let's change the context to a nation like Wakanda. Would you think that the message would be bad if Wakanda stopped? If they were like, for example, like came in and stopped like that with their technology? Would that be a bad message?
I think Black Panther is probably one of the most evil MCU movies. I think that
Oh my
it literally goes around saying the idea that black people who want to fight for freedom against their oppressors are evil. They are Killmonger. And the real way to save people, the real way to save people-
That is fucking insane. That is actually. That is probably the most insane thing I've heard in a while.
Let me explain.
Oh my god.
Yo,
Dude,
So
no.
Stop cutting me off. You wanted me to respond. I'm gonna respond
my
to your,
God.
to your
That's
question.
so. That's
Alright.
That
that's.
is disgustingly wrong.
Jesus Christ.
The film.
So is it?
The film. Wait. Hey, you said you were gonna let me talk. All right. The film posits the idea that the only possible way for Wakanda to help people is through amending the existing system, to reform instead of revolt. Killmonger is the bad guy. He kills kids. He's evil. He's horrible. He says all these leftist ideas that would genuinely help people, but now the audience will
No.
continue to
No, they don't. No, he
associate
doesn't. No, he
with
doesn't. He wants to.
Killmonger's
He wants to murder. He wants to murder children.
propaganda.
He wants to
Not
murder
mention we have
children.
a
He wants to
CIA
murder
agent
children. He wants to
helping
murder
the
children.
Wakandan status quo
You
to
want-
blow up
is
any
killing
of
kids
these
good?
weapons that could actually help people. You have
Yeah,
a proof
he
of
wants.
it.
He wants to. He wants to. He wants to murder children. He wants to murder
That's my
children.
point. They made him into a child murderer so that leftist ideas would be
No,
associated.
they wouldn't. No, the black. Literally, the point of the movie
Oh
is that he
my
has a
God.
point. He has a point. He has a
Dude.
point. He just
So
took
the
it too
only way-
far.
This is so bad.
The only way his point is valid is if Wakanda decides to reform the system
They-
and dish
they-
out these
That's
things
what they're
themselves.
They literally. That's by the end of the movie. That's literally what they do by the end of the movie, dude. That's literally what the point of the fucking movie is.
The whole
Like,
point
it
of
is
the
baffling how much
is
the
reforming
propaganda is
Wakanda.
working.
No, you're talking.
Sorry.
Okay, let Abla speak because you're talking over Abla. Abla, go.
Hold up.
The whole point with Black Panther, with T'Challa, is he acknowledged the issues with Wakanda. That's why the end of the movie is him reforming it to be better.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
Oh my god!
Fixing something is a problem. Fixing something is a problem.
You cannot fix something that is built off of exploiting others and hurting others.
Fixing something's a problem, guys.
What?
Fixing
Okay,
something
okay,
is a
Miskit,
problem.
Miskit.
That means the Middle Eastern should have let Stark's Industry fucking missile ship stay.
No, because the Middle East is basically
Mosquito.
founded in both the real world and the MCU on
Oh
America.
my god, this is
Mosquito.
Americans created it the way they wanted.
Alright, Mosquito, I want to ask you this, because the only way that we're going to get common ground here, which we're not, because I genuinely don't understand your perspective at all, but I'm going to try. What is your ideal way to fix the Earth? Like, if you had the fucking smoke, I guess you can't because you're the one dude who can't come, so no one can say about biologics, so it's fine. If a group of people of every ethnicity, race, and things biologic come together to dismantle the system and create something new, what would that look like? How would that function?
I would. Are we looking like societally or economically?
Societally, economically, everything.
Alright. Well, I don't think it comes as a secret that I am a bit of an anarcho-communist. A tad bit. Maybe.
A
You
tad.
know, maybe.
What's
And
that?
Okay.
I believe hierarchy in general creates power imbalances. And
Okay.
for most things, I would advocate that structures should be created from the bottom up as opposed from the top down. We should have councils of people working together instead of one person at the top deciding things, or just a bunch of people where it needs to be more centered around communal discussion instead of lawmakers in fucking parliament doing all the work for everyone else. And economically,
But you
that's where
okay?
our
Stop!
angle comes
Stop!
in.
Stop!
We
Stop!
need a system where
Stop,
the
stop.
workers only means of production, and we destroy the exploitation of
Okay.
capital systems that
Okay,
take advantage
okay.
of hurting others to get
Oh
cheaper
my
prices.
god. Okay, we get it.
Stir, go.
No! Stop! Carry it. I did ask him.
When you're
It's
my
fine.
opinion-
No! Stop! No! Don't listen. Stop! I asked. That's fine. Okay. So what you literally just established there, right? Is you wanted a group of people, a group of council, to do so. You specifically determine a workers' council. Okay. Of leaders of the workers' council, or just
No
random
leaders, everyone's
no.
equal. The only
How many people?
hierarchy
How many?
that
How many people?
exists
How many
that
people?
require
How many people? How many
hierarchy.
people on this council? How many people on this council?
I don't know. Are we talking about the world, the nation, the city?
Yeah, on the
town?
on the well, that would still literally just be a hierarchy though, because those are the
don't
people
know
who are deciding.
Where are we
There
talking?
was also-
Like, what are you? Are you telling me to like organize a world council?
Excuse me,
or,
can I
like,
chime in?
like
Yeah.
a city or a town or like a Discord server?
What?
What?
You
Like
This
where
is
are
live.
you? Where are you asking me to implement this in?
I'm just asking if you could plan out and fly out everything around the world to do this, just as systems of different countries. But do you believe in a perfect world that there would be different countries, or would be just one united front of people? Is that sort of the viewpoint you
I
got
feel
to?
like these questions are things I can't really answer. I don't think anyone has a valid answer to this question.
But I do
think
have
that's
one
question.
ridiculous.
Hold up.
It's very ridiculous to assume anyone has the answer for world.
Let him
peace.
finish, Abla. Let him finish.
Alright.
It
Well,
is like-
because a problem I
could propose what
because
think
I
would work for like a city maybe.
okay
Maybe a
because
country even, but
because
the
my-
world, no, I don't have a
my
solution.
my problem because the basis that I'm trying to get here is I really I'm gonna straight up say it, despise it when people bring up like things that are issues and then they can't fucking figure out any like solutions or be like or bring that up to the table for a perspective. Yes,
Well,
you
it
hate
is-
something.
I
How do you
think
fix it? How do you
I
fix
think
it?
it is kind of very egotistical of me to assume that I would have a solution for every piece of the world's problems. I can propose.
you need- but you would- but-
ideas I'd
but-
like, but I don't know how I'd implement them.
No, but you can give your perspective on how to different extent, not full picture. But you can't just be like, I don't have the full answer here. I don't have the answer.
I've
like,
said what I
but-
would prefer, which would be something along those lines. I don't
But
know
what
how
do you
it
what,
would be
but
implemented.
what you would prefer quite literally is kind of what we have.
That
this
is
is the
not
we-
what we have. No, we have a world government that is essentially run by capital. That is what the world is.
Oh.
It is run by capital. There are no countries,
What-
no
okay.
religions. It's just corporations. Everything is about how much.
That's literally not true. That is literally
it
not
is.
true. Do you see what Israel? Look at Israel. Look at Israel. Look at it. Look at Israel. 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 Israel is literally a religious state that has major trade. Literally run by capitalism.
Class by definition.
Yes, but they use religion. They're religious. It is a religious government.
At the end of the day, it all comes down to capital. Everything is done. All of these divides are created so more people can make money. That is how it works. That is why capitalism fucking
but it is literally, but I'm trying to say that also, but it is religion. Religion is a part of it. They use religion. Religion is a part of it.
I agree religion's a part of it. I'm just saying capitalism is at the
So why did you say that there wasn't then?
I was making a reference to network.
Okay, but I have a question for
Reference
you,
to the
Mosquito.
NetBeauty speech and network.
Yeah.
I have a question. So you have an issue with Iron Man essentially intervening in the Middle Eastern because he's white. Would you have the same issue if Iron Man was a Middle Eastern himself still? Would you still have an issue with him?
Like from the same group of people, like one of them rises up against these people?
Same plot line or whatever. Just the difference is that Tony is Middle Eastern.
If he's a Middle Eastern American, fuck no, it's still the same problem.
Why? Why?
Oh my god.
Why?
It's the exact same problem. To have like an American.
I don't why? Why? Is it because he grew up in a more privileged environment? Is that why?
Look, I'm all fine with like if the story was like okay, like one of these guys sees that it's shit here and he tries to rise up against it and there's like they have a revolution.
But what's the difference? What's the meaningful difference?
The meaningful difference is one of them isn't a bunch of like foreign nationals taking advantage of this.
He's not a bunch though. It's one dude who's running gunning by himself again with no system of government intervention. He's literally going against he's going. He's literally. What do you mean? It is a guy working against the government to do what he needs to do.
Going in and saving people.
Why does that matter?
Why does it?
If it was Batman, you wouldn't complain. If it was Batman, you wouldn't complain.
Dude, if it was
Batman, I probably would have the same problem.
No, you wouldn't.
Dude, what if it was a guy from?
That's why I don't like the Dark Knight.
What if it's a guy?
What if it's the exact same thing?
Okay, first of all, second of all,
let's go, Jesus.
What if some dude from Greenland wanted to go help?
What?
What if a dude from Greenland wanted to come out, go out and help and he had the same resources? What would you say to that?
That's a problem, but the main problem is that it is an American.
Why?
And America is known for its.
Okay, you know what? What if a Dominican did it? What if it like literally any Hispanic? What if a Dominican went?
Yo. I'm right here.
I'm right here too, brother.
All right. So if I back then, a Dominican American, first gen, right? My parents are both Dominican. If I go back in time and kill Rafael Trujillo, who is a dictatorship, who oppresses Haitian people and has affected chunks of my family, I'm the bad guy?
No, because that would be your own people. You would not be intervening on behalf of like.
But you just said to the previous example.
Let him go. Let Mosquito. Let him finish. Go on.
But you just said in the previous example that if a Middle Eastern American who is a billionaire, like if it's like the same plot as Iron Man, were to come in and save people from the Middle East, like the outline and everything, he's still a bad guy.
You didn't clarify Middle Eastern meant like the person from the same country or like just
you
like
said,
some Arab person.
We said Middle Eastern American. And
well, what do you mean by Middle Eastern American? There are a lot of people
a Middle
East.
People whose ethnicity is Middle Eastern. Yes,
there are different ethnicities in the Middle East.
You're not letting him finish.
Okay, like I'm speaking like generally. Let's say, like for me, for instance, I'm a Dominican American.
So am I.
Black Dominican American. My parents are Dominican, and I was born in Miami. I'm not like.
No way, you're in Miami too?
Yeah. Well, I'm not in Miami. I moved up, but the point is that I'm Dominican American. Mm-hmm. That's how it really usually works. If if me, I would go back to DR, or go back in time, so I can kill Rafael Trujillo, aka an actual dictator, a white supremacist dictator, still Dominican by the way. Do you think that I would be the bad guy in that instance.
No, you wouldn't, because those are your people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Why is it bad fundamentally? Still, I'm gonna ask this again, and because I don't, or not, because I know what you're gonna say, but I'm just gonna ask you for the shits and gigs, and then I'm gonna head off before I leave. Why is it inherently bad somebody who is a part of a different country who is going against legal means, specifically legal means that would literally get you court-martialed by or anything, or sent to prison by going against orders by an American government system to go help people? It is literally against the government system. The
All right,
issue
can I
of it
explain?
is with the government.
All right. The difference is that these aren't Tony's people, and Tony is a rich American billionaire. And
Bye bye.
Historically, let me just clarify. Historically, America has done awful, atrocious, disgusting things whenever they intervene in the Middle East.
Miles
So
Morales
setting
is
that
bad because he
precedent in
saves
there-
white people in Spider-Man.
Okay,
2.
we're
Sending that
talking about
precedent
Tony
in there
specifically.
where you have
we're
this-
talking about Tony specifically.
What?
No,
Miles
we're
Morales
talking
is
about
bad
Tony
because he
specifically,
saves
not
white
America as a
people.
whole.
But that's not what.
Hold up,
You're
hold up,
missing
hold
my
up.
point. There is a historical precedent for, like, insane militarism in the Middle East from Americans. That there's
Is
a
Tony part of the military? Wait, wait, wait. I don't know why we haven't even said this, or maybe we have. Is Tony part of the military? Yes or no?
He essentially becomes the military.
No! No! Answer the fucking
Is he
question.
part of the? Is he part
He's
of the
not,
military?
but he's still a rich billionaire.
No,
actor.
That doesn't matter! Why can't you
How
understand
does it
this?
So how can
does.
military
Having
propaganda?
a rich warmonger
Fundamentally
going
speaking-
and choosing who lives
No,
and
no,
dies.
no. Fundamentally speaking, in order for it to be military propaganda by definition, you would have to be part of the military.
Iron Man essentially represents America.
Oh,
He's
no,
an
he
American.
doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, he
No, he
doesn't.
doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
No, he
No,
doesn't.
he
He's
doesn't.
literally a military
Mosquito,
contractor.
Mosquito, hold on. Mosquito.
Guys, listen up. I know everyone in this voice chat is a leading authority on this subject, apparently, but I still want it to be one at a time.
All right.
Mosquito.
All right.
How can he represent America if he literally isn't, and he's going against their act, and he's doing an action that is going against what is legal?
Because he's still a military contractor. Literally, in the
No,
movie, he's a military contractor. There you go. You wanted your proof?
Where's your Where's your proof?
His whole
The movie, Iron Man.
No, that's not good
2008,
enough.
directed
What
by
I need
Jon Favreau,
specific,
starring Robert
like
Downey Jr.
one-to-one proof that they showed in the movie. That or
Okay, that's
they
literally-
show it or say it outright in the movie,
shut down
so
the
you can
contract.
prove your point and we can
Hold on,
concede.
PJ,
Because
hold on,
all you're
PJ.
doing is making assumptions. Go on, Kairito.
Hold on, he shut down the contract. That's literally his arc.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but he still was
Shut
a
it down.
military contractor, and then he goes
No,
on.
he shut it
on
down.
behalf
He shut it
to
down.
the
That
job
is his
the
arc.
military wanted to do.
Kite Man makes a good point, but I don't even have to show it. Literally, again, I'm gonna say it again because I said this scene already. In Iron Man 2, he literally told the government to fuck off because they asked for his suits. He privatized
All
world
right.
peace.
PJ, I just want to ask you something.
What?
All right, it's a genuine question.
Okay.
If right now a billionaire decided that they wanted to privatize world peace and do everything themselves, would you say that's a good idea?
Wait. Repeat it.
A billionaire like Tony Stark, if they wanted to say, okay, I'm going to go and privatize peace, and I'm going to, do everything for everyone, and I'm going to save everyone. What would you say?
Good.
Yeah. Like
Depends
like
on
what
depends
the
on
fuck?
person.
Like what does that have to do with
Depends on the
anything?
person, I would say. Probably.
Unfortunately, that's not the outcome that happens here.
Unfortunately,
Oh,
hold
you're
up.
saying if Elon Musk went and said he wanted to
Okay,
privatize
it would be bad.
world
In
peace,
that case, it would be bad
a
because
good
it's Elon
idea.
Oh
Musk.
my god.
Because that's
you're
Elon
not
Musk.
even there.
Oh,
Hold up.
y'all are proving my point.
I think what is like off about this is that know who Iron Man Tony is, like start to finish. And when we also got context of what Elon is, we obviously gotta say no. The way in real life works, billionaires aren't really made authentically. So we obviously have a natural inclination to never trust a billionaire. But when it comes to like fiction, and if you acknowledge it's fiction, and the fact that like we know the context and the context is spoon fed to us, we know that Tony using his powers the way he is isn't going to be a bad thing.
Which is what I would like to
And
bring
also,
up.
I think
I
it's
real
agree.
quick,
I
no,
think it's-
real
I
quick,
want
real quick,
to
real
respond
quick.
to that point. I want
Real
to-
quick.
Can you No. I was responding.
Fine.
That was a good point.
Fine. Can I go after Mosquito?
All right. Now I agree with you that yes, the story is meant to make us sympathize with Tony, and I'm not disagreeing that that's what the story's trying to do, but you have to you can't ignore the real world stuff that these films deal with, and it does set a very bad precedent for people who watch this movie who then will naively think that this is the right thing to do. That is where the propaganda element comes in.
Okay, but your comparison is false because an outside party, you're asking for an outside party to decide if someone can even be trusted versus a hero like Tony Stark making the choice for himself.
I'm saying that it just sets a bad precedent. That's the whole point I've been trying to make for an hour. That is where the propaganda element comes in.
Let me say this. I'm a Norwegian. I'm not American. My family is Muslim. And when I saw Iron Man, I did not think of any Islamophobic thing in this movie. I felt really happy to see Iron Man protecting innocent lives. So I do not understand where you're coming this whole, it's Islamophobic or propaganda because the movie shows Iron Man essentially criticizing capitalism and military.
Yeah.
That's the point of Tony Stark's argument.
All right.
He finally wakes up and realizes he is part of the problem. So what does he do? He rectifies it by making amends.
This is hold up real quick. This is if in a bank, right? Let's say this is a hypothetical movie, right? A robber who's white is holding hostage a bunch of people, and then fucking Miles Morales as Spider-Man comes in and saves them. Is that bad?
No.
Then what's the difference here? What's the difference here? Is it because he's rich? What's the difference here?
It is a false equivalency, right?
No, it's not a false equivalency. It's literally the same dumbass point that you're making.
Let him explain. Let him explain why he thinks it's a false equivalency.
Okay. Well, first of all, I wanted to respond to Habla's point because, okay, sure, if you didn't feel anything like that, that's great. But me, also as a Middle Eastern person, felt disgusted watching that. I do not like the idea of my people being portrayed as barbaric that they need to be saved by the Americans. I don't like that idea.
So that's it. You don't think a white person will feel the same if they see a movie of them fucking being a dick to a black person or a Hispanic person?
White people have been dicks to
oh my god, it's an example, you dumb fuck!
People have been terrorists.
Jesus.
Yeah, wow. Funny how that works. Mosquito.
And also, the film isn't saying to trust anyone in the film. The film is saying that if you are in the position, you should use what you have to help people and know when you are part of the problem. Tony wrongfully trusts Obadiah. So if anything, the film is telling you to be careful with who you trust.
I do not like the idea.
Don't tell me to calm down, motherfucker, because you're not making any good points.
I'm the one who should be offended here, and I'm not even yelling. So
no, here's what you don't understand. The whole point with Iron Man, the real villain, was Obadiah's thing. It was not the movie.
I do not feel comfortable with the idea of this rich white billionaire
going
in there and
wait, hold on. I'm curious about this. Mosquito, do you like Homecoming?
I don't. I hate that movie.
Of course.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. Sorry, it doesn't actually not Homecoming. Do you like Civil War?
I don't really care about Civil War.
For fuck's sakes, dude.
Why don't you care?
Whatever.
I wonder why. I wonder why.
Wait, hold on.
I don't think it's well shot.
Do you at least appreciate the line of of Peter? Let's use Peter Parker in that movie, right? He's like, when you can do the things I do, and then the bad things happen, that's on you. That's just what he says, right? Do you think that's a good line? Do you think that's morally good? At least.
Peter Parker is a working class kid.
No.
Oh my god!
Answer the question. Just answer the question.
What was the line again?
When he talks about when you can do the things I do, and then the bad things happen, that's on you. Hello? Did I not? Hello?
I think you broke him.
Wait,
no. Because I think that's what Tony is essentially doing. That's part of why he likes Peter, is because it's he realized what I realized in this movie, but way earlier in his life. I mean, right? Because that is what Tony is doing. He has the privilege, he has the money,
And
to
for what
do
it's worth,
these
Civil
things.
War does a much better job with Tony than like.
Okay.
Wait,
but
real
I'm
quick.
saying-
Kite Man makes a good point. With great power comes great responsibility. For Iron Man's, from Iron Man's case, is money and privilege not power, and is Iron Man not
It is
responsibility?
power. It is power, but again.
So then, what's responsibility for Iron Man?
Okay.
The difference between responsibility is that you are still portraying this Middle East or this white American billionaire running into the Middle East and blowing people up.
No,
I don't like that idea. Is it so much?
Wait! You don't like the idea of someone coming to save people from terrorists?
I don't believe in the idea of Americans doing that. I think it's disgusting.
Why?
Because Americans create those terrorists and then cry about it 10 years later and say, "Oh no,
dude, white American billionaire blow people up anyways, bro."
Yes, that's what he does. That's what they do in the real world. And I fucking hate it.
Is that what Tony does?
Okay, so should he? Should he do nothing?
Really
should
bad,
he do nothing?
It creates a very bad.
Tony just sit back.
The deflecting is insane.
It's
should he do nothing?
I've said the same thing for like an hour. None of y'all understand.
You've been saying the same thing, deflecting for an hour.
I think the only
I've not
thing
been
that I
deflecting.
will agree.
That's my point.
No,
I think the only thing that I will agree that is only propaganda of the movie, and the only thing you can argue for me, in my opinion, is that the film blames some figureheads in the movies rather than like systems. Because like,
I mean, that is a good point.
Like for instances, like let's
my
take
God.
like Winter Soldier and whatnot, right? Yeah, Shield was being off, but they also copped out by saying it's straight up Hydra. That's the reason why.
True, smart. That's like a very good point.
For Iron Man, they said, what's it called? It was
they blame it mostly on
Obadiah. It was Obadiah. Yeah.
Also,
and
you do know that Tony was blamed for that slaughter happening in the village anyway, like before that scene.
Which he
right?
should, like, good, rare good.
Yeah. So why is it bad when he does get the suit
because
and then
it still
fixes
looks
it?
badass as hell. That's the thing.
Mosquito, listen.
That
listen.
is
The whole
so
point of
stupid. It's
Civil War,
amazing.
listen. The whole point of Civil War that you will like is about the government, American government, and the whole world giving Tony Stark accountability to respond to his actions. That's what
you realize that ideology isn't the only thing that makes me love or hate a movie. Like, I don't even hate Iron Man. I think it's like an okay movie.
Ideologies are the only thing that makes me love or hate a movie. Oh my god.
I said he wasn't.
And politics.
I said he wasn't.
And politics.
I literally said he wasn't. Just because you say something I agree with does not mean I'm gonna like your movie.
Awesome.
I literally said
but you're making weird points.
You're making incredibly weird
The
points.
argument wasn't about whether I like or hate Iron Man.
I feel like from what
military propaganda.
You know, from all of this criticism.
Okay, because I guess we have kind of strayed from that point, right? Again,
Well,
I said this before. It fundamentally cannot be military propaganda if he is not part of the military and he's going against the military.
It is still like
No,
promoting the idea of America being
you
in
can't
the
argue
Middle
that.
East.
You cannot argue that. How can you?
The only
Because
good
military
faith
propaganda doesn't always just have to be, oh wow, we're the military in the Middle East. It can also be, oh wow, I'm an American running into the Middle East deciding people's lives.
So an American is inherently military? They're the same thing?
The idea of an American in the Middle East
No. Is American and military the same thing?
What
yes
is
or no?
Tony doing in the Middle East when he
No,
flies
yes
Iron
or no.
Man?
It's a
He's
yes or no
killing
question.
people.
It's a yes or no question.
This is a false.
Is American
Yo, this delusion
and
is
military
amazing.
the same thing?
An American going and fighting Middle East.
Oh my god, it's a yes or no.
You can't even
question.
answer yes or no. This is fucking
Yes or no.
stupid.
Yes or no. If you want to make a point, sure, but answer the question first. Yes or no.
Say the question again.
Oh my god. So American and military is the same thing in your head.
No, it isn't. But in
Okay,
this
it's not.
context, it is.
So then why is it the same in this movie to you?
Because he's going and killing people.
That's
in
not
the
the
Middle East
military.
using
He's not the
military
military.
weapons.
He's not the military.
Anybody that goes and kills
His
people
weapons,
is
by the way, his
in front of
weapons.
the military.
Hold up.
Like,
I feel like
Anybody that goes and kills people is in front of the
Also,
military.
Mosquito, you forget one point. After he was done handling the terrorists in the Middle East, guess what? The American soldiers and the Air Force responded to Iron Man's sudden appearance.
They were gonna take the military. Were gonna take him down. They thought he was a threat, anyways. Like in that whole debacle scene.
Guys,
They don't fuck with Iron Man.
I believe Malone has something that he wants to say. Let's let him.
Yeah, sorry.
I feel like the idea that there's some propaganda there is there, but I feel like you're going about it a little strangely because I think, like, for instance, like when I heard Perito says something about, oh yeah, he's fighting terrorists. I think the problem is that the movie still in a way frames people in the Middle East to either one still be like, you know, either some of them be terrorists or not. And yes, there's terrorist groups in the Middle East. Yes, that is a thing in real life. But with the Islamophobia happening currently at that time, a movie like that depicting things like that, it's like without context, subliminally people would think, yes, Middle Eastern bad.
That's not the movie's fault.
It really is.
Has a responsibility to do that.
I mean, yes and no, because
it's not a movie's fault for you being racist.
The movie has to. The movie has to specifically like lay out a shitload of context, and yeah, without in a vacuum, it could be propaganda, but it really isn't when you like kind of take in all the context in mind.
Yeah,
I know the context. I know when this movie came out. I'm not stupid.
I can understand what you're saying, but the thing is, we have to keep in mind, as you said, the context, which is the DOJ funded and wrote this movie. It was this movie's meant to make the military, or not even just the military, more importantly.
Okay,
how's y'all gonna let me talk or not? It's made to promote this idea and make it palatable for Americans, because that is what Bush and Obama wanted to do. Was make it palatable to go into the Middle East.
It's funny you say it's being funded by the military when in that movie, if anything, it makes the military look very incompetent in comparison to Iron Man.
Okay. Even if it is, I mean that's like out of the universe. I don't give a shit. That's not part of the movie itself.
Both Iron Man 1 and 2 makes the military and the government look like shit anyway. So that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. Okay, but Iron Man's not the military.
Iron Man's an American.
It doesn't fucking matter.
And so you think American and military are the same.
So I don't see why it is so shocking that this movie, which clearly shows
it's shocking how stubborn you are about this. That's what's shocking.
Deciding who lives and dies is military propaganda. It is.
Wait, hold on. So would you say that the first Spider-Man movie is military propaganda because it had military in the movie?
Would you say that Spider-Man 1 funded by the military? Was it?
I don't know. Was it?
Let me read.
Mosquito isn't saying it's propaganda simply because the
he's gonna put up the 7 articles.
Okay, there's no I can't find anything about Spider-Man, like the first Raimi one. And no, the first Raimi film doesn't even like comment on the military outside of Norman killing them. Like there's no real commentary.
All right, that's fantastic. You know what other movie doesn't comment on the military? Iron Man. So,
are you dumb?
Are you?
This movie
are you dumb? Are you dumb?
Wait! I feel like this is kind of
hyena ass laugh.
Wait! But wasn't the point of the argument saying that Iron Man is against the government and some points of the military? I feel like this kind of goes against that.
Well, yeah, that's my thing is that
what?
Like I see people are trying to say that, okay, Iron Man goes against the military, so that means it's not military propaganda. But you have to keep in mind what Iron Man also technically represents, which is American intervention.
He does not represent the
military. He doesn't represent anything but himself. There you go.
He does go to the Middle East himself.
Iron Man at best represents future. He represents technology and future.
He also represents the killing of my people, and that's why I don't like that movie.
No, he does not do that.
The killing. Oh my god.
What? You don't think I have the right to like not think that this is okay?
That he's in the wrong for defending innocent Middle
if those people
killed and tortured by terrorists?
Your people, if they're terrorists, what happens?
What?
What do you think?
The terrorists that were put there by the Americans and then have to get saved by the Americans.
They are terrorists. They're terrorists. They're terrorists.
This is literally what Bush wants you to think. He wants you to think that.
Oh my god! What does he have to do with anything? Because Bush made Iron Man, apparently, guys.
Bush made Iron Man.
Some of y'all did not grow up here.
Bush made Iron Man.
See what effect this had on people. Like
with that logic, any video game or movie that has the government, like your favorite video game or movie that has government involved, is military propaganda. Sonic Adventure 2, military propaganda.
In this context, it is really messed up, which is what I was.
Hold on.
Mosquito. You people talk about like effect on people. That is not. If people are gonna decide to be Islamophobic or whatever, right? Whatever the fuck, that's not the movie's fault.
It
That
is
their.
though. The movie
That's a moral failing on that
harder about this
individual.
than it was.
Because the movie isn't saying, yeah, let's treat these specific people like shit. No.
It is. It's
No,
saying that they're
it's not.
barbarians
Not
that need to
really.
be saved by the
Literally,
Americans.
Jensen was a good Middle Eastern dude who helped.
One
Well,
good
yeah,
Middle
I
Eastern
forgot
guy,
about
and
Jensen,
everyone
but
else
Jensen's
is
literally
bad.
the like the main like mentor character that like
Yeah,
pushes
one
Iron Man
singular
to be-
good old wise Middle Eastern man who helps the white guy get out of
What
there.
the fuck does
and
race
then-
have to do with this?
Because
Oh my
this
god!
is-
Oh! So when the so do
Again,
you like it when they're
TJ.
portrayed positively or not?
I'm not
I
speaking.
do not
What
like
is it? What is it?
Americans
What is
in
it?
the Middle East being portrayed as
I wasn't
positive
the one
forces.
speaking.
Okay, you're a fucking racist. Got it.
I'm not racist. They
Yeah.
fucking butchered my
Yes.
people. They
Yes, you
butchered
are.
them.
You
I do not want
hold
my
your
Americans being
anger,
depicted
your
like
whole
that in the Middle
anger
East.
with
If
Iron
my
Man.
people are portrayed negatively, that is movie bad. Movie bad.
Okay,
I wasn't
okay,
even
I-
commenting on the movie. I was commenting
No
on the
media can ever
propaganda in
portray
it.
my people in
Okay,
people in a
I want
negative
to
light.
bring up this. I want to bring up this one point. I want to bring up this one thing. I don't entirely disagree with Iron Man not being, in a way, some form of propaganda, because you can't disregard like the Islamophobia that was going around in this era. You can't really disregard stuff like that. Like, I'll give you an example to make you guys understand this more. I did not like Tyler Perry movies. I hated those movies because of the way they often displayed black people in extremely stereotypical tropes, and in a way it kind of just shoved black trauma down your throat to the point where like you could not disassociate that trauma with certain black people. And in a way, some people come around and they meet people like me and they expect me to act a certain way. In a way, Iron Man kind of depicts the only good like Muslim in the movie who is lighter skinned than the rest of the terrorist gang and speaks English. Subliminally speaking, that is in a way still kind of propaganda. Now, I do not believe the way Mosquito went about things is right, because yes, Iron Man in a way is supposed to be represented individually. I don't think Iron Man fully represents America like that. But I'm saying the depiction of Muslims in that movie is a problem.
It's been like that since the comics, though. That's not the movie's fault entirely.
It's not the movie's fault. It is the movie's fault to currently change it to, because back then, I believe it was a whole entire different ordeal.
In the comics, it was
Also,
in Vietnam.
we have to keep in mind this, all right? And like you raised a lot of very good points, and like yeah, it is true. Jensen is literally lighter skinned than everyone. That is like, that is a really big
And he
point.
speaks
but-
English. And he speaks
Yeah,
English.
he's like literally the token like.
He's
He
the
also
token-
kind of falls into like that token old wise Middle Eastern Asian stereotype, which has been associated for a long time.
Okay, but
Or the
real
stereotype
quick. In that same, I'm sorry, but I just need to say this. In that same scene of Iron Man coming over, right? Like the civilians, like in that scene before Iron Man showed up, were already portrayed as like normal people, and even to the point where the father that was about to get shot before Iron Man landed was literally able to put himself first before his family, so he would be sacrificed instead of his family, and
All right.
and he can't even speak English. That's in the Middle
Can I
Eastern.
explain
dude.
why this is a problem?
That's not the point. It's not the
Can
point.
I-
It's the fact that like it literally positions certain characters in specific tropes in like roles that were dictated during that era. That's the problem. It's the perpetuation.
That
of
doesn't
those
make it
tropes.
propaganda, though.
Well,
I'm not
let
saying
me-
it. I'm not saying it's like military propaganda. That's not my point.
All right.
How is it?
I wanna
Wait, but
bring
how
up-
is it a
I want to
trope?
try to elaborate
How is it a
little
trope?
bit better about what I was trying to say.
I-
All right.
What trope is it?
Highlighting-
What trope is it for the civilians?
highlighting-
How is it a trope?
Not the civilians. I'm talking about Yinsen specifically.
Yeah.
Civilians are civilians.
Oh my.
But what I was gonna say. All right. So you bring up that scene where Iron Man and like look at like these Middle Eastern people, whatever. My point is that the film portrays this idea that without someone like Iron Man in that area, the Middle Eastern people are going to all die. That is my problem, is that they have to be saved by a quote-unquote rich billionaire American
Who
state.
fucking cares if it was rich or white?
They
The
could
point
die.
is-
They could
Because-
die, bro.
Because
My
he's
point
a
is it
super-
sets a
the whole-
very that is a very problematic narrative considering what America did. They justified it as Iraq had
No, they didn't.
weapons of mass destruction and we have to go save the people from the mass
Yeah,
destruction.
that is true. They could die. What?
PJ, they didn't have weapons of mass
Okay,
destruction.
That's
Are you-
that's
let them
not
die,
that's not
Mosquito, let them
portraying
die.
anything.
Let them die. Let them die. Let them
listen.
Okay.
right
If-
now, like Iraq did not have weapons of mass destruction. It was a lie made by Americans.
You know what? No,
to
Mosquito, you're
justify
right. You know what?
invading-
Save your
Oh
own
my
people,
God.
man. Save your own people, man. Save your
Oh,
own people.
stop interrupting him.
Save your own
Sally,
people.
stop interrupting. Stop interrupting.
Yeah. Look, PJ, the fact that you told me
Yes.
that you just as instantly said that, oh yeah, it was okay, and like you didn't even doubt for a second that there weren't.
When did I say it's
weapons of
okay?
mass
When did I say it's
destruction, there is
okay?
my point.
When did I say it's
That
okay?
is-
I'm
You
interested.
didn't, but you were like you immediately jumped to like trying to defend this thing just because Iron Man did. Like
When?
this is
Tell
my
me when.
problem.
Where's your proof?
like 2 seconds ago.
It's
Everyone
in,
else in the call.
dog.
heard
It is in the context of the film. There's no defending shit, motherfucker. So don't assume
Can you
that
calm
from me.
down? Can you calm down?
Can you calm down? Don't assume shit. Fucking, bro. So
What were you
fucking
gonna say?
stupid. I already said what I said. It's in the context
Hey,
of the
let's
film.
not-
They
let's
use
not-
Tony's
We're
weapons.
not gonna. PJ, we're not gonna insult.
No, Mar, are you kidding me?
Chill
Like,
out.
he literally assumed about some shit I fucking said. Come on, dude. I
heard
have a
what-
right to
okay.
be at least a little bit annoyed.
I'm
Yes,
the
you can
one
be
who's
mad, but you don't
who's
have to
being
take it
discussed
out
right
like
here.
that.
I have the right to be annoyed, and I'm literally trying to.
Oh, that's wonderful, isn't it? Jesus Christ.
What do you mean that's
look.
wonderful? We're discussing.
Okay, but don't assume shit on me, motherfucker. Like, come
think you
on.
should
I'm
calm
only
down.
trying to explain.
I think you should calm down.
I think you
and
should be
should
quiet
let me
and not
finish.
interrupt people or assume thing any much any
You
longer
were
right now.
interrupting me, PJ. You were interrupting me.
For Jenny, it's funny that you told me to stop yapping, bro. That's so funny.
Jenny's right.
Oh.
All right.
Thank you.
Let me,
I'm glad you
let
thought
me
it was
speak.
funny.
All right.
Yeah, no problem, retard.
America has many times.
I sure am.
Hey,
I shouldn't even say America. I
what-
should say the United States.
Oh,
America is a lot
no.
bigger than just the United States. I should say the United States. The United States, specifically, throughout many years, has justified its attacks on the Middle East by usually claiming some sort of awful thing. Like Afghanistan was justified through 9/11, even though Osama wasn't even from Afghanistan. The weapons of mass destruction in Iraq never existed. They did that also, the exact same thing. The stuff with ISIS in the Middle East, they created ISIS through getting rid of Saddam and funding a bunch of rebels. And then they said, oh, it's the Middle Eastern people, it's their fault. No, it was they gave them the weapon. In Libya, they got rid of Gaddafi and then, like, caused a bunch of shit as well.
We did.
Like, I don't even need to get started on the awful, abhorrent shit they've been doing for years in Palestine, or the revolution that they sabotaged in Iran, or all of these other things that they have consistently done in the Middle East. So now I ask you, oh, Iron Man was saving those people. There was a reason for him to be there. Does this not just align with this idea that the U.S. has to be the world police?
Not really.
The Americans
no,
have to be
no,
the world
no,
police
no.
to go save the Middle Easterners from themselves.
No,
Do you not
no.
see how this is a problem,
Not
considering
really,
the historical
no.
context, especially during that period of time when the Iraq and Afghanistan wars were in full effect? Do you not see the problem with that?
Iron Man is not supposed to be a representation of America. You got it all wrong.
He is still an
Okay.
American in the Middle
Yeah,
East.
he happened to be
saving
an
Middle
American,
Eastern
but that
people
does
from
not mean
themselves.
Look,
Oh, oh,
he does not wear the American flag like Captain America.
He
goes
doesn't,
to
but he's
make
still an
amends
American in the
for
Middle
his
East,
mistakes.
defending the
That
Middle
does not
Eastern
mean
people
that
from
does not
themselves.
mean he is
An American that
America.
represents all of America. Got it.
Iron Man does not like being called a soldier
An
though.
American.
Wait,
In that
hold on.
context-
Mosquito.
What?
Do you think one American can represent all of America?
No, but in this context, he basically is.
No.
How?
Because the film wants you to root for him as he saves
Not really.
the innocent
Iron
Middle
Man could've been
Easterners from the
Norwegian and
evil
no one
bad
would
guy
care.
terrorists.
He
Iron
goes
Man
against
could've been
what America wants
Norwegian.
him to do to begin with.
So basically, what you're telling me It's even worse. The film wants you to believe that the military.
Okay, but
rely
Iron
on
Man is not a
soldiers.
soldier. He literally says in Avengers, "We are not soldiers." He does not like being called a
They
soldier.
are soldiers. That's the
No,
irony.
he does. He's
Literally
not. He doesn't. He
soldiers.
dislikes being called a soldier.
But they are soldiers.
I think
Oh my
He's
god.
not
I
a
think
soldier.
Kaiman-
Who is Tony
Hey,
working
guys.
for? Who
All
is
right, let
Tony
Kaiman
working under?
talk. Let Kaiman
Who is
talk.
Tony
Kaiman
working
has
under?
something he wants to say.
Who is Tony working under?
Can I speak, please?
Hold on.
Let
Yeah,
Kaiman speak.
Kaiman.
Can we
I
let
think-
Kaiman speak?
I think is not true because this is putting in context that it's kind of assuming that Tony is okay with going into the whole country and doing it. Tony was informed about a singular village, and he saw that village that he was informed of being destroyed with his weapons that he put there. He went there to destroy his weapons. He didn't necessarily go there to kill anybody. Yes, he ended up doing that, but he went there to destroy the weapons that Americans put there. An American went there to save Middle Easterns from American weapons. Not necessarily saving them from Middle Easterns, because that terrorist group was funded by America.
But at
So
the same time, you have to consider that this is oftentimes
But
type of tools that America. Wait, I was.
okay, my bad.
Okay. This is oftentimes what America will say to justify going into countries is that, oh, these people are doing these bad things. Oh, this is happening. This is happening. It's always the same excuse. It's always, oh, the Middle Easterners are stupid barbarians who need to be killed, and we need to settle the region.
Do you think they're not doing bad things?
Dude, no.
Let me ask this.
Okay.
That is
Do
what
you
America
think they're not doing bad
always
things?
are.
Let me ask
One
you
at a
this.
time, guys. Come on.
Well, Mosquito, in the movie, do you think they're not doing bad things then?
The film portrays them doing bad things so that
Okay,
they
then
can
if they're doing
justify
bad
Iron
things,
Man
then they need
doing
to be
that.
stopped.
It's a
If
propaganda
they're doing
piece.
bad things, then they need to be stopped.
That's my point. It creates the idea that the Americans have to
Okay,
save
but
Okay,
but it's also but even for Tony, it's
they are
also
doing bad
self-defense. Even for Tony, it's
They
also
are doing
self-defense
bad
because
things.
he too yes it is because he too has bullet holes and he came to destroy weapons.
Also, at the same
DJ,
time,
my
Mosquito.
point here is the film constructs a narrative that makes it appropriate in the viewer's eyes for Tony to do these things. That's my point.
I don't.
Mosquito,
That is
you-
where
you
the
also-
propaganda
you forget-
element comes in.
You forget one thing. You think the Middle Eastern are the villains, but you're wrong because in the Iron Man movie, the real villain that you complain so much is a white billionaire named Obadiah Stane.
Yet who does he
which
kill
Iron
in
Man
that
has to
scene?
stop.
Which is what I'm literally speaking about.
Then why don't
kills
why are
Middle
you
Eastern
angry- hold on.
people.
Why are you angry at Tony Stark? Why aren't you angry with Obadiah Stane? The
I
very
don't,
man
I don't
who's
need to
supposed
be
be
angry at
on
him because the movie's angry.
I mean, we got to remember the movie itself is like a redemption thing for Tony. Like he's trying
It
to
is,
undo,
that's my point.
but that doesn't necessarily make it bad either. Like he's trying to undo the bad things
That's
he's
a
done.
bad precedent, PJ, considering his story.
But why is that a bad precedent?
Because it is a bad precedent for Americans to be fighting wars in the Middle East. That is, I don't think I need to explain why that's a bad precedent.
Okay, but you never really proved that how Tony's behavior was not appropriate either, though.
Okay,
My point is
pause
just
for a
the
second.
narrative
Pause-
constructs
hey, Mosquito.
What?
Pause for a second here. I want Kite Man wants the opportunity to
Yeah,
respond
sorry.
to what was said.
All right. Yeah. Continue.
The movie does create that opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like if we censor stories like this, it could lead to censoring more stories. So it's a dangerous mindset to say, oh, you can't make a movie that has somebody go in to take the weapons they gave to the Middle East out of the Middle East. Because that does happen in real life. And you gotta make movies about real life stuff or else nobody would know about it, because most people, well, I'm not gonna say most people, but I know me personally, I don't pay attention to stuff like that.
Well, yeah,
So-
That's you. That's you.
Listen, and I was just gonna quickly say, this is my problem: is that if you want to make films about this, then sure, go ahead. Then maybe make these films with the intention of actually showing what the U.S. does in these countries, instead of creating narratives that justify U.S. involvement in it. And when you say that these stories that we need to be afraid of censoring or whatever, you have to keep in mind who and why this film is being made. Why this film is able to have these U.S. military equipment on set.
He goes against the military.
Because the U.S. military approved this film. It co-wrote this film. It wanted to push a narrative.
Co-wrote this film?
It's okay to intervene in the Middle East. It succeeded at that.
Do you have proof of that?
I don't. Honestly, I don't even think he's wrong in that aspect. Actually, because if you were to also take into effect that because the only reason why they made this change, because back then originally Iron Man as a character was made to also specifically combat the Vietnamese.
I mean, also, right? Like, the terrorist in the movies rose because of the power of the U.S. military. Like, he says in the movie, "I have become a part of a system that is comfortable with zero accountability." Like, Tony blames the system for that. He himself blames the U.S. government.
He still goes and intervenes in the Middle East, though.
But that doesn't necessarily mean he's in conjunction with.
It makes audiences comfortable with that idea.
Wait, so let me guess, Mosquito. Your complaint about this Iron Man movie is that he's depicted as this American white savior. Is that your issue?
That he kind of is that, yeah.
That's simple. That picture simple.
Is that not what he is?
Someone that saves people can't be white, guys. They can't be white.
You're missing the point of what the white savior narrative is even.
They can't be white. You can't save people if you're white. Can't save people if you're white.
I'm going to read off the term white savior intentionally so that y'all understand what I am talking about. And you don't just think I'm saying white people bad, because that's not what I'm saying. All right. The term white savior is a critical description of a white person who is depicted as liberating, rescuing, or uplifting non-white people. It is critical in the sense that it describes a pattern in which people of color in economically underdeveloped nations that are majority non-white are denied agency and are seen as passive recipients of white benevolence. How does this not fall under Iron Man? How? Someone explain to me.
That's not even fucking white savior for Iron Man. He was never
looking muted man.
Wait, no. Let Abla finish.
All right.
When they fucking made Iron Man, they did not think about making him a white savior character. You got it all wrong.
Then why is he a white savior character?
Mosquito. Come on.
All right.
Like nothing about Iron Man was screaming a white savior. He was never created from a racially motivated thing. They created Iron Man because they fucking loved the character. That was the whole point. The reason it was Middle Eastern because as fucking Malone said, because the character was from the 1960s in Vietnam, and obviously the Vietnam War was over. So how do you make a movie that is based on the original source material for that time period was because of the Middle East. It was never by any shape or form trying to depict themselves as a white savior or saying the Middle Eastern are barbaric. It was never the case because the real villain was again Obadiah Stane, who was causing these madness. And as PJ said, Tony acknowledges he was part of a system that was comfortable by causing madness. So what does he do? He shuts down weapon manufacturement.
A part of a system that takes zero accountability. Yeah.
Exactly. So he becomes Iron Man to right the wrong. The same way Spider-Man became a hero to right his wrong when he was a
and it makes sense with like the whole great power comes great responsibility thing if you think for Iron Man as well. Because the power is the money, the responsibility is Iron Man. Sorry, go on.
The difference between Iron Man and Spider-Man, at least in a filmic context, most adaptations of Spider-Man in film that aren't terrible, as in like not the MCU, have Spider-Man dealing with working class issues, and most of his villains are not just one-dimensional. They're not just one-dimensional bad guys, but they're usually people who have been brought to these situations due to systemic problems. A lot of the time, this is the case. For example, Sandman he's barely a villain. The guy is just got fucked over by the U.S. healthcare system.
Inconsistent morals.
Spider-Man 3, that is what Sandman is. Or when he does have villains that are from the upper class, their privilege turned them into villains essentially.
Not really.
Goblin's ambition turned him into becoming the Green Goblin in the first Raimi film. Doc Ock's lack of struggle, his lack of having to deal with the things, for example, Peter's dealt with, led to him becoming Dr. Octopus. This is what happens in these films, and that's why Spider-Man avoids a lot of these problems I have with Iron Man. Also, Spider-Man isn't going into like other countries, specifically Middle Eastern countries, and killing people. Hell, Spider-Man doesn't even kill people. The difference is Iron Man, he goes into this country and you say that, oh, this film wasn't made with race attention stuff, but it still comes across in that sense, especially someone like me who is a member of that group. And as Malone says, as Mona mentioned, the only beloved Middle Eastern character in that film.
Let Mosquito finish his point. Let Mosquito finish his point.
The only Middle Eastern character we even care about in the entire movie is a light-skinned man who can speak English and helps the white protagonist to get out of like his Middle Eastern jail, essentially. Like that, these are like problematic stereotypes, and when we keep in mind that the film was made with the intention to sanitize the U.S. military, because it was funded by the U.S. military, then we can say, okay, maybe this film has some problematic elements, and you know, if you want to enjoy the film, still you can. I'm not saying that you have to disavow Iron Man. But just recognize that it does have these elements in it, and it's okay.
All right,
to
but I have one question for you. Let's say you're the director of this new Iron Man movie. All right, from scratch, you're gonna make a new Iron Man movie. What would you do differently?
I make the story completely surrounded around Iron Man's privilege. Completely. I essentially do the Batman. Essentially. Because I think the Batman
does the movie not focus on his privilege?
Yeah.
It does focus on his privilege, but still ends up basically enforcing the idea that the U.S. should go into the Middle East. Whether it's Iron Man or the military, the U.S. should.
Iron Man is not the U.S.
He's still an American in the.
Okay, so he represents the U.S. So he represents the U.S.
He is still an American in the Middle East.
One guy represents a whole. Oh wow.
Like y'all are so
that isn't problematic at all.
About not literally being
no,
the
it's
military.
it's not like that. It's not like that.
Okay, I got something out.
Batman's got a point. Let him go.
So Mosquito, I've got a question.
All right.
So would you say that billionaires and people in the lower class are basically in different like countries? Basically in different countries. They live in completely different luxury.
Unfortunately, they are part of the same countries, and that's what's the problem.
Well, yeah, but they're basically like a billionaire in his mansion is nothing like, say, a person who lives in Section 8 housing, right?
Basically, yeah, you're right.
So would you say that Bruce Wayne going into a Section 8 housed area and stopping a gang fight would be bad because Bruce Wayne is a billionaire going into essentially foreign territory and, intervening in something that he knows nothing about? Would you say that's bad?
That's false equivalency.
It is a false equivalency.
Oh. Well,
that's just how it works. Like this, I understand this sort of topic because in a way, this sort of thing is intersectional. I kind of see this in movies too. White saviorism, it also affects people, like Hispanics, Black people too. And I feel like with this conversation, I feel like it's right to acknowledge that some of these things actually exist. Iron Man as a character, from his origin, in a way, is created to be something like that. He literally is just made. His origin is built in to literally fight the Vietnamese communists to save Americans or whatnot. Him representing America in this moment, I feel at first I kind of misinterpreted this, but I feel like in a way I don't think Mosquito is even wrong either, because of the fact that he has so much, his wealth kind of makes him
invulnerable.
It literally gives him so much power. You can't just what one individual doesn't represent people, but in this context, Tony's a billionaire. He literally has connections to the military and whatnot. His actions inadvertently create a ripple effect.
Yeah, but
I feel like this element is present there. So I feel like I don't think Mosquito's actually wrong.
The only thing I can agree on is that I can understand that, for example, because I do remember Stan Lee one time said he wanted to create Iron Man the most hated
hero because he's rich and make weapons.
But at the end of the day, even if he's like completely like untouchable because of money, like that's the power, and and now the responsibility that he has to do is try to undo the wrongs he's done as Iron Man. Like, yeah, sure, he is essentially untouchable because he's rich, but at the end of the day, he can also what it's trying to establish is that he can try to undo whatever bad thing he's doing with like his money. Like, even if he's gonna like make more money or just lose more money, he's willing to put in the work to undo the wrongs, not just that he did, but just what's like wrong with the world, and not just with the government, which he's against. He doesn't fuck with the government.
I think that's what's the slippery slope about this is, because I feel like when you create a character like this, right, and you're trying to well, first of all, like his origins back then in the comics, that's kind of hard to even like fully divorce from, right? So while they were adapting, and yeah, they changed the Vietnamese to Muslims, right? I feel like the role he filled in that specific movie in a vacuum does fulfill some of those tropes, but they were addressed later on. It was kind of addressed. Iron Man 3 in a way is kind of like a parody of Iron Man.
Exactly.
Because they critique the fact that there's this one military figurehead and whatnot. The point is, I think because I feel like what's it called? It gets uncomfortable to really talk about these movies in these lights because well, there's movies that we like. We don't like admitting to bad things that we like.
Exactly.
But these movies will inadvertently have these elements. That's just sometimes how it is. And I don't even think Mosquito said the movie was bad.
I never said it was bad.
I still enjoy Iron Man. I don't think it affects too much of my enjoyment either. Because later on in the movies, in the MCU, they kind of addressed all these problems.
Yeah, that's the whole point with Civil War. It was basically holding Iron Man accountable by saying, hey, look what you have done and the Avengers have done. And the whole world...
That's Civil War's strength, not Iron Man's.
Yes, that's the thing. That's, as a character, and we will enjoy Iron Man the way he is. But when we're talking about, when we look at this movie individually and its effect it has in real life, instead of the broader sense of the fictional verse, Iron Man kind of fulfills those roles.
Well, yeah.
Iron Man 3 goes against it, Civil War, yada yada. The character itself is actually so much better than he is in the comics. Undeniably, he is. But, yeah, I feel like Iron Man 1 in that vacuum kind of does that.
Well, yeah, and hell, I'd argue Iron Man 2 is probably even worse in this regard, but the reason I don't give Iron Man 2 nearly as much shit is it does kind of... It gives me the kind of vibes that the Michael Bay films do, where it's just so overtly militaristic that kind of becomes a joke. It's very hard to take Iron Man 2 seriously. Iron Man 1 plays it a bit too straight for my taste, and while I don't hate the film, there are plenty of worse MCU movies.
Well, look, with
Iron Man, in terms of its problematic elements, is probably one of the more problematic MCU. He's probably top 5 in that regard.
I don't agree with the Iron Man 2 one, but I don't disagree on the Transformers one. But I think with those two movies, it's very apples and oranges, because it's like you said, with Transformers specifically, they do it in a way that it does feel like a joke. Where Iron Man 2, I don't know, that's a whole other discussion that, I don't think
Iron Man 2 is just, I don't really have much to say. Iron Man 2 is even more generic. It is just the evil Russian stereotype type thing, and then, oh wow. It's just and it is significantly more it is just as misogynistic as the first Iron Man film.
By the way, Mosquito, SK asked this question. He says, what is meaningfully different about Iron Man in Iron Man 1 and 2 and 3?
What's the difference between them?
That's what SK said. What is meaningfully different about Iron Man in Iron Man 1 and 2 and 3?
I think Iron Man 1 plays it very straight, and because of that, it's the problematic elements become hard to ignore. Iron Man 2 is basically a self-parody, and while it is very problematic, it is a lot harder for me to take it as a serious piece of like, you know, military propaganda. And Iron Man 3, as Mo pointed out, is basically a self-referential piece on Iron Man, and basically does kind of address a lot of the problems with the other two movies. And
wait, but it has Iron
Patriot.
Like it has Iron Patriot though.
Oh yeah, it's not perfect, but it does like address a lot of the issues that, for example, Iron Man 1 has.
I think you would have had more issues with Iron Patriot because he is the one that I think.
Well, I'm not saying Iron Man 3 is perfect. Most superhero movies, if you're gonna look at them from like an ideological standpoint, most of them are pretty bad. But I don't see enjoyment as necessarily correlating with how much I agree with the movie. There are movies I completely disagree with ideologically that I love, and there are movies I agree with a lot ideologically that I hate. But
there's still one thing I want to
you can
jab at you for is the Black Panther comparison. That was off because as someone who didn't like Black Panther, Killmonger's like whole entire shtick was the fact that like he's doing neo-colonialism.
Well, yeah, he was. I do agree with you there.
All right.
Well, yeah, it's.
Get that out
I'll just let me just try to elaborate a bit on what I was trying to say because I do think Killmonger's an interesting character, but what I was trying to say is Black Panther with Killmonger, there is kind of this stereotype that I'm sure you're aware of with characters that are revolutionaries, right?
Yeah,
a lot of like comic books, not even just comic books.
He says a lot of Black liberation talking points, but he's actually like depicted to be the bad guy.
Yeah,
but
it's basically Magneto. He falls into the Magneto problem.
But the point is that the movie still inadvertently like they literally address that, and it sends ripple effects across the world, and like Wakanda just changes. Like,
they do, but at the same time, it has to happen through the system, and we also have Everett Ross, which is a whole other. That's a whole other problem in the movie. But it's like I don't like how Black Panther insists that the only possible way for like Black liberation is through.
It insists
essentially. It's like you have to play to the system essentially. You have to convince the system to change, which I think is a bit. I think you can see why I'm like a bit not that keen on that idea. I don't think that you can really play through the system, especially with something like Wakanda. I get that it works as a character arc for T'Challa, and I like that he does stuff, but from an ideological standpoint, it is pretty bad. They do, because I remember I was talking to SK about Killmonger, and obviously like SK joked that like, oh, Killmonger killed people, and it was a joke, or he killed kids or whatever. It was a joke, and I know he does it in the movie, but SK was a joke.
I mean, my only issue with Black Panther.
Oh yeah,
my only issue with the.
I'll just finish and I'll let you go after. Right. But my thing is like, the minute that we bring up the idea that okay, Killmonger had some points because he was literally talking about like he was doing a lot of Black liberation talking points, and I get that he does neo-colonialism and he kills kids and stuff like that, but a part of me wonders. This film is trying to say this. They're making Killmonger do these things so that we don't associate his talking points with legitimate change. Because if your character says all of these great things and then does these bad things, it makes you not want to like at all empathize or agree with the character. It is a problem that like Magneto's had a lot in both comics and films. Hell, I love Arcane, but Silco falls into this category as well.
Fuck's sake.
There are just a lot of characters like this which will speak a lot of revolutionary rhetoric, and then the film will be forced, or the film or show will be forced to find a way to make them unlikable and unagreeable so that you never want to actually think, wait, maybe their way of doing things is right. Because Killmonger was absolutely right in Revolution, but he was wrong as in he was a neo-colonialist, but what he was saying about Revolution was correct. And we don't really have, like at least with Arcane, you have a character like Echo, who is a legitimate anarcho-communist who has good ideas. But with Black Panther, there is no alternative for Killmonger. T'Challa, as much as I love him, he is the leader of the biggest nation in the world, the most rich, successful nation in the world, who has done nothing for generations. We don't have a character to combat Killmonger as doing his ideals in the correct way. We have no one to match Killmonger. So what it comes across as is Killmonger's ideas are bad because he's bad. Even if Killmonger at points, his ideas are forever going to be associated with killing kids. Because that's what people remember Killmonger doing.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to read off what SK said. He said T'Challa himself empathizes and makes changes based on Killmonger's ideas.
It's a great arc for T'Challa, but I'm saying from an ideological standpoint, the fact that Killmonger's only able to enact change through essentially reforming the system is very unrealistic and does delegitimize a lot of like revolutionary ideas. That's basically what I'm saying.
All right.
My only issue with
if anyone has like stuff they want to say, they can. I did talk a lot.
Can we talk about Sonic now?
No, I want to say one thing I have issue with the Black Panther movie was just when the father T'Challa just killed Killmonger's father instead of instead of breaking his arm or pinning him down, but instead just killing him.
I mean that does give it does give a very big. It works as like a tragic narrative arc for Killmonger.
No, but another dumb thing is why didn't he just take Killmonger as a kid back home to Wakanda instead?
This isn't what we're doing. We're not talking about like the plot and like.
It's all I'll say about Black Panther.
Let's not get into that right now. Unless this discussion ends.
I'm happy Black Panther got made. I'm happy that there was a majority black superhero film that got made. That is still a very good thing. My thing is though that it is still an MCU film, and we have to acknowledge the fact that these films, at the end of the day, are meant to push like very status quo, very anti-revolutionary, very essentially pro-American messages. So you're going to always have stuff like Everett Ross being this great guy who's shooting down Killmonger stuff. Or you're going to have stuff like, just in general, the Avengers, like, this is something I've never liked, is they turned S.H.I.E.L.D. from an international organization into an American organization. The Avengers, in the first Avengers movie, are essentially a private military. And as the movies go on, they essentially become Tony's private military, which, for the record, at least Civil War criticizes this.
Dude. No.
I'm not mad that Civil War criticizes this. That's a good part of Civil War. But you get to the point where you have stuff like...
not a military, no.
They are basically a private military for Tony at some certain point. And
they're
Civil War makes that a problem, which is good. That's good that Civil War does that.
I don't think that at all.
No, they're
even,
not.
And I will bring up another thing that I just kind of realized. The MCU Spider-Man movies are kind of really bad in this sense because most people here don't like these movies, so I'm not even.
I like them. I'll be real. I'm like the only person in the server that probably likes them.
My issues with this MCU Spider-Man is very different from.
Fucking love the MCU.
Homecoming and Far From Home. No Way Home. It's the villains are just like weird multiverse people. But with Homecoming and Far From Home, both the villains, right? We have Vulture and we have Mysterio. Vulture is a working class citizen who gets his job destroyed because of Iron Man. Like Tony ruins his job because he's Tony and Tony's a dick. He loses his job to Stark Industries. He loses it to Stark Industries, right?
Yes.
And the film essentially ends with Peter fighting on behalf of Tony to stop
no
stealing the rich billionaire stuff. It's like and then we go into Far From Home, which is even worse in this regard, where we also have a bunch of workers. We have a bunch of workers like Quinn and Beck and all the other. Not done.
Hold on, slow your roll. Homecoming is not Spider-Man doing on the behalf of Tony. He's doing it because Vulture is selling weapons that is causing problems in the neighborhood, and he's trying to stop it because he knows if Vulture steals these high tech, he's going to make even more dangerous weapons. So Peter is stopping Vulture from making more weapons and selling off the streets to endanger more lives.
Well, yeah,
that's
but
the point.
You see, my point is that they never really address what Peter should do differently for people like Vulture. They never address the root of the problem. It's just we have to stop the Vulture. It becomes very... Because Far From Home has the same thing. Mysterio and his workers essentially got fucked over by Tony. That was the whole idea, right?
Yes.
And what is the answer there? We just get rid of them again. It's always this return the status quo, return the status quo, and like
SK says
you
it's not
compare
a
it to
character
something
for
like.
Tony to do that. So
I think that's
Well, no,
just
the difference
Marvel's
is-
writing being booty, to be honest.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't even blame it on Sony because you look at the Raimi films. What does Peter do at the end of Spider-Man 3 with Sandman? He doesn't even say stop doing anything. He just says, I understand you. There's a moment of class solidarity there. He forgives Sandman fully, and he understands why Sandman does these things.
Because Sandman isn't the villain. He's not trying to hurt anyone anymore. He
But yeah,
realized
because Raimi's a good... Like, the people who wrote that film were smart. They didn't just make this, like, poor person, this, like, demonic, evil guy who we have to just root for the status quo against. Same thing happens with, again, the other two Raimi villains are, like, rich and whatever.
No.
But with, I
Doc
think
Ock is not
they're going to do a similar thing with Spock, because Spock is also a worker who got fucked over. And I don't know what they're going to do in Beyond, but I hope that they actually address the root of the problem instead of just blaming everything on him and not.
Well, I'm going to
fixing
stop
it.
you there. In Spider-Man 2 and Sam Raimi, Doc Ock is not a rich dude. He's just the one who needed funding for his.
Oh yeah, he's very privileged, is my point, compared to Peter. That's the difference.
No.
Wait. There's no implication. Well, actually, no. Actually, yeah. There's not much implication that Doc Ock was like fully rich on the come up. He just so happened to just like create.
He was luckier.
He was luckier. Yes. My point. I think the only highlight in contention with Peter and Doc Ock is the fact that Doc Ock had an ego. And that ego and him not letting go of certain things is what brought about his downfall.
Well,
and
yeah.
Which was the whole point of the ending of the movie, where Peter says sometimes you have to let the things.
Well,
you
yeah,
want the most
I
in your
love
dreams.
Spider-Man too. Like, I'm just saying that the difference is, I agree, Doc Ock wasn't super wealthy. He's not Norman, but he didn't go through what Peter went through. Is the point? Peter had like Uncle Ben, like all these bad things happened to Peter, and because of that, he doesn't have it nearly as big of an ego in this specific film. Spider-Man
He did
is a whole
have an
different
ego,
story.
but he dropped it.
Well, yeah, he essentially like. The difference is because Doc Ock hasn't had those life experiences, he becomes too ambitious, and because of that, he screws things up. And that's interesting. It's a good parallel for Peter. Like, each of Peter's villains are... In the Raimi trilogy, they always mirror Peter in some different way. Like, Goblin is Peter. If Peter was super rich and didn't lose Uncle Ben at all.
Norman represents the potential Peter could have been, a scientific genius that could have earned wealth with his intelligence.
Well, yeah, if he had the opportunities, but he didn't. Peter didn't. That's the difference. Otto got those opportunities, and Peter never did.
When Peter was offered those opportunities, he rejected and says, "I like to find my own terms."
Well, yeah, and that is a part of like his.
Underdog.
Peter isn't. He's not someone who's. This is just a part of Peter, and in Spider-Man 3, all three of his villains represent a different trauma that he never really dealt with. With Eddie represents Peter's anger that he's never really fully dealt with. Peter's always been an angry person who never really dealt with his anger, and Eddie's the manifestation of that anger. Sandman is his unresolved trauma for Uncle Ben's death.
Actually,
Which,
I think
that one's very explicitly clear because he is literally the trauma he's been burying for so many years comes back in full force in the form of Sandman. And by the end of the film, he reconciles with Sandman. He reconciles with his trauma with losing Uncle Ben, and he comes to peace with that. And Harry is Peter's biggest regret because he killed Norman. That's the thing that he regrets the most in his life, and he also comes to peace with that. Harry comes to peace with Peter. Despite everything, Harry forgives Peter. And I think, for what it's worth, even though Spider-Man 3 is filled with a lot of problems, it is a very smart movie that, in terms of its villains, it is probably my favorite villains of that trilogy. I really love all three of those characters.
Mosquito, I got a question.
What?
If Tony were to go to that village and have stopped them without killing them, would that
Again?
have been better in your opinion?
It would be slightly better, but I think that... I mean, what do you mean by he didn't kill them? What would he do?
Say he pulled out some tech bullshit that just disabled the weapons.
Well, actually, he technically
left
did
without
because
killing anybody.
real quick, he technically did. He didn't even kill him. He just harmed them with his
I
tiny
still
missiles and
feel the
just
idea
aimed at his
of-
crotch. Sorry.
I feel like the idea of, again, still the idea of this American going in there and disarming a bunch of Middle Easterners is kind of icky. Like, it's better than not killing them, but it is still a bit...
What if Spider-Man was somehow teleported to the village? Say Green Goblin teleported him somewhere random, and he just so happened to be teleported to the village, and he saw that. If Spider-Man stopped them, would that be a problem? Because there are people in the muted saying that. You would think it would be a problem.
Well, first of all, I probably wouldn't want to write Spider-Man like that, but even if that happened, right? Number one, we have to keep in mind what is the context of this film that we're watching. Is it like Iron Man, where this is a film made during the War on Terror, meant to justify...
Let's say it is.
Yo, Purple Clark, this is your chance, bro. Come on.
If it was during the War on Terror, it would probably have the same problems. Like, the whole idea is that we don't want to have Americans solving Middle Eastern problems in the Middle East during this war on Terror.
What would you feel if Thor came in there to handle Middle East? And he's
Thor
a
is,
Norwegian god.
Thor is, like, from Asgard. He's not really, like...
He's a Norwegian. He's me.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's necessarily as bad as America intervening in there, but still is just a bit weird.
Asgard is...
Can I hop in real quick?
Yeah.
Sorry, I joined a bit late. So do you think we could work back a bit from the beginning? What would you say are Tony's defining characteristics as a superhero? Like, what do you think drives him to be Iron
like
Man?
MCU, Tony?
Yeah, that's
like,
Jack
you're saying that
Kennedy. I didn't even. It took me a while to recognize.
Like military propaganda. Like, what drives Tony to be Iron Man?
I guess it is his guilt. That is what the movie wants us to believe. It is his guilt. And for what it's worth, the MCU gets better at this as it goes on. And I like that the films... Civil War is a film I don't even like. I kind of hate it. But is a film that deals with this significantly better than Iron Man does. And I think Iron Man 3 also does a decent job with this. So I'd say, yeah, guilt is probably his defining character trait.
Yeah, well, guilt over what?
Wait, what? Guilt over just his past, over him being like a weapons manufacturer. That is his driving characteristic.
Right. A weapons manufacturer who gave weapons to the people he's fighting.
Yeah, that is his primary motivation. And as the movies go on, his company's done that in far more than just the Middle East. But the basically my argument for why it was military propaganda has less to do with Tony's specific intentions and more with the imagery and the idea of having this American superhero in the Middle East solving Middle Eastern problems and essentially being the savior figure for a bunch of Middle Eastern people who, in the film, outside of one notable exception, which is a English-speaking, light-skinned Middle Eastern man who essentially helps him escape from the Middle Eastern people. Most of them are either portrayed as helpless victims or barbaric terrorists, and this tends to correlate with the color of their skin as well, which is also not great. And yeah, because this film is military propaganda in the sense that it's the idea of America being in the Middle East as a net positive, because Tony being there does end up badassly killing these
great scene.
These Middle Eastern terrorists.
Well, I would actually say, I don't honestly say it's the opposite. It's
What's up,
it's telling, it's communicating that we never should have gone into this conflict in the first place, because the conflict just got completely out of hand because Tony was neglectfully just providing all these weapons to the Middle East, which allowed it to get out of control. And now he's trying. And now, after experiencing it firsthand, like after being helped by Yinsen, who sacrificed himself to help Tony, he realized that he's the problem, and he's working towards removing like all of his equipment from the region. And he's not simply going after like the terrorists or like radical groups in the Middle East. He's also going after weapons manufacturers and evil people who keep the war going. Like Obadiah Stane. So to me, like I felt it was pretty obvious that it's anti the military-industrial complex.
To some degree, you would be correct. It is more though about the imagery of that specific scene, which is what I've been criticizing for the most part. Is that specific moment is definitely the DOJ's favorite scene in the movie, because that scene, the idea of this Middle Eastern village that is helpless and without any possible way of being saved until Big Iron Man flies down from America out of the sky and blows up the terrorists for the Middle Eastern people and saves them. That is basically borderline what America's used to justify invasions in the past is, oh, Iraq has weapons of mass destruction. We have to go in there and do that. Oh, Afghanistan has Osama bin Laden. We have to go in there and do that. Like, it's always they try to justify it by saying we're doing something good and helping people, but in reality, we know they're not. They're going in there and burning schools and raping children.
Well, yeah, like I oppose the Iraq War. I oppose like
well, yeah,
like
I don't
stuff
think
like
you
that.
would.
But like presuming that there are like actual weapons of mass destruction, that there are like things worth responding to that affect American lives, but also just the world in general. Like I would say those are valid justifications, which it works in the context of the story being presented.
Of the story, yes, but when we keep in mind the context of why this film was funded, why this film was even able to get made, and we remember that the military funded this film and approved it, we can quickly realize, okay, wait, this was done so that the American public would feel more confident and more comfortable with the idea of said Americans being in the Middle East. Even if it's not directly the military, that imagery is still there. That imagery is still like, if you ask a random person off the street what their favorite, like, biggest moment in Iron Man is, most of them would say the scene where he suits up and he goes and saves these people. Because that is the most well-known scene in the movie. When I think of Iron Man, that's what I think of. It's that scene. The imagery is very iconic. And what is he doing in that scene? He is butchering Middle Eastern people. And it sets a very bad precedent for its viewers, and it it does reinforce that stereotype that the world needs to be saved by Americans. Whether it's Iron Man or the military or fucking Captain Marvel, it doesn't matter. We need to be saved by the American world police.
Well, I think. Do you not think that these like the real life equivalent to these groups exist in these Middle Eastern countries? That are victimizing other people who are Middle Eastern.
Oh yeah, but who funded these groups? Who makes sure that these groups have power?
The people that Tony are fighting against.
Well, yeah, but does Tony ultimately like go on a war against America or something? No, he still is working at the end of the day with the government, no matter how much he says he isn't.
Well, right, because he's a reformist. Like, so this is kind of like
that doesn't really work if you're going for a narrative that's like, oh, Tony's trying to actually fix the problem, because. Yeah, the problem is America in this case, which they do pin most of the problems on Obadiah. At the end of the day, most of the problems are not on the American military, it's on Obadiah Stane, one singular business.
It's on Obadiah Stane and Tony. So Tony so Tony is a guy who's neglectful. Like he's aware, he's sort of aware of what he's doing, but just doesn't care. It's until he experiences it firsthand that he decides to grow a conscience. Mm-hmm. And he acknowledges that he, along with Obadiah Stane, are the problem, and that he's the only one who can fix it, because there's no Middle Eastern equivalent to Tony Stark in terms of power and influence.
Actually, we have a lot of them. They're called billionaires.
Well, not really, because
they do
Tony
fund
is the
wars,
main
like
manufacturer for their weapons.
It's just the only difference between billionaires in the MCU and in real life is billionaires in real life don't have flying armored suits. If they could do what Tony was doing, they would do it. Trust me. And obviously the film wants you to root for Tony, because it is, Iron Man. He's a superhero. And at the end of the day, the film is just that imagery of that very powerful imagery of Iron Man saving these Middle Eastern, the most well-known scene in the movie, and that does, in a subconscious level, put that image in American viewers' heads that, okay, it's okay if we intervene in the Middle East. Because Iron Man did it, and he saved these people. And as we know in the real world, this is not great. And you can argue it's a work of fiction, but when your work of fiction affects real human beings and justifies heinous, awful acts subliminally, that becomes a problem. I'm not even saying you have to hate the movie. You don't. Like, I don't even hate the movie. But it does have these problematic elements, and it is kind of like, you do gotta reconcile that they exist.
Right, but when you talk about like propaganda, I think of something like C.W. Griffith's like Birth of the Nation, where it demonizes like black people and like justifies the Klan. Mm-hmm. Here with Iron Man, it acknowledges nuance, and like to me, propaganda would be like, oh, there's no nuance. We just need to get in there. We need to blow up everywhere, like the Middle East, because everyone in there is unsalvageable. Like, there's nothing we can do. We shouldn't feel bad.
Not many people would believe that, though. As dumb as like a lot of Americans are, not a lot of people would believe that. At the end of the day, propaganda isn't just like, sure, you are correct. Birth of a Nation was widely successful. It did literally bring back the KKK. It was an awful movie that completely succeeded at brainwashing a lot of Americans, including, you know, Woodrow Wilson screamed it in the White House. Like, he was a fan of this shit. But not all propaganda is as overt as Birth of a Nation. Propaganda can be as simple as, in a scene, we have an American fighter jet in it. It can be as simple as like, we have an American soldier who's this great, lovable guy in the movie, and you love him. Like, propaganda doesn't always have to be so overt, like in Birth of a Nation. It can be subliminal.
But sometimes it doesn't necessarily have to be propaganda either.